from marketwizards.com and eminywizard.com. And it is about 10 minutes of 10 on the 8th of March, 2019. Reminding traders to use risk capital you can afford to lose. Market trying to climb off the floor. I have suggested that it's hard for me to recommend just close your eyes and short at these low levels. After over almost 100 points ago, we said, okay, we're using that for resistance. So it's been axiomatic, as I've said, that used to be would say, you know what? It's tough to do anything down here. I know you don't want to buy against a strong trend, but there's better odds to buy. And if you don't want to do that, then you wait for a bounce and then you hit it and hope that you're right. So we've suggested that this 35 is going to be our immediate resistance. And anybody long side, if you get lucky enough to get a rotation long side above this 30, make sure you're paid by 32. Now I'm looking at this 10-minute chart that has been working. And this is more or less an odds type trade. Risk two, make two. And a tough trade, admittedly. But, hard to get short down here at your target lines. So this is trading, and, you don't have to take every trade. If you don't like it and it's not your cup of tea, you do nothing. Our predictive model was talking about this 25 target, 24.75. I said, don't get caught today at the low end, Just very hard with this type of a move to, overnight it moved and you were sleeping and then it moved at, on the news, very hard, oh, I missed it all. Now I want to short. That's how they get us. And this is why professional traders say, you know what, I'm going to take the odds trade. Better odds going long, convenient trade. Back and fill a bit. And then don't get too cute, trying to stretch and get too much. Don't forget, Powell is speaking at 10:15. Thank you, Zeke, for all your posts and your notes. You got 32s. Lock it. Anybody wants the short side trade? Reminder that we've got news coming out. Position traders are probably using something like that 12 as their stop. And I'm talking a big boy, not necessarily you. Anybody wants the short side ahead of news, think small. Running into the red line. And if you're short in the 32 range, again, I'm saying think small. I think IB right now, until we get some more news coming out, is for some range type trading. And I've suggested paid by this 32 if you're long. And that means a short if you want to try. You're going to try that 32 to 35 zone as first resistance. I hope, if nothing else, these last few weeks we've been able to show you how intraday we can try to find those 4 to 5 points every day per contract. Even if you only get 2 at a time and do it a few times a day. And the longs have been trapped, need to pay up. And that's why I don't think we're going to just fly out of Dodge. That's why both sides are valid, and it creates a range that we can hopefully expect, a trading range. Yeah, I'm not pointing up here saying, okay, this is our resistance and whatever. We know that's our resistance. Everybody knows that now. Yesterday when I called 76 1/4, That was not a done deal then. We don't know all this territory is going to happen. It's 76. Better make sure you're paid. That's our target. I said, make sure you're paid by 75. But 76 is our target. We had 76 and a quarter. Now that's obvious to everybody. That's the art of trading, is seeing things other traders don't see before it becomes obvious. That's our edge. Grab your 2 or 3 points. If you are playing right now, remember there's news coming out. Powell speaks. And all we can do is play a little back and forth right now while we're waiting for some news. If you want to play. Stops down. You get 27 to 26, be happy. A little range setup. Thank you, Brian. You've got lots of notes on your charts, but the technical knowledge is great, but you're learning a ton about how to think. It's taken a long time. As you can tell, I hope, Zeke and I have been at this for quite a while. And I think the psychology part helps us to identify the ranges. And we're going to be wrong a lot, and we're going to miss trades just like you guys. We're going to sleep through things. We're not going to take extraordinary risk. We don't have to. Zeke and I believe we can go in the market any day and we can find our 4 or 5 points. And that's not going to happen every day. Depends on our schedules. Depends on, whether we have make a silly mistake or not. But, you cut off your little finger and say, okay, goodbye. Who cares? Well, it's true. What can I say? And I'm trying not to be a real nerd today because my wife is out of town for a few days. I took her to the airport, and so it gives me a little bit more time to sit at my desk, which I don't want to do. I don't want to be here all day long every day. I like to be here a good portion of the day, but I also want to take my walks, take my swims, go swing a golf club here and there. You got to have a life too. This is a means to an end. This is a business. And if you get lucky and you get your work done early, goodbye. You can go play. This is typical of an early morning range where it tries to get itself resolved. Way up here is where we left off. Now we're trying to short down here. That's the problem. We said yesterday's low. Above it, we're going up. Below it, going down. And nobody knows as we're coming down our first target at 32.75. Then I said 28 is going to be next. And then I said 18s. So this is a good, healthy move, stolen range that most traders have missed. And yet all these traders that wanted long side are paying up right now too. Right? Because position trader, he's been trapped. That's a big move for in 1 week. This 100-point move. It doesn't mean we can't go lower. So for now, all we know is step by step. If the market moves against your position, take your stop out, look for a higher move, and then try it one more time. So basis the 10-minute chart, this 35 looks to be our immediate resistance. And then we're going to look to a 15-minute chart, which is our base chart. Looks to me like the market is trying to take some profits. ahead of news. But you can see how this 15-minute chart is very deadly also. So I think we've got the right range. This 38 as key resistance, 38 to 42s, and range trade below. And then be careful of anything that snaps later, because we will get some snaps before we're done. It's just typical of what happens. And then the new low, and then the bounce, and then the new low, and the bounce, and the new low. That's a very solid umbrella trade. So even at this level, I still like hitting bounces and expect that it's going to be tough to make major progress. I just like trend trading. Once the trend, we were looking for supports before. Now we said, I think we're in a corrective mode. So we've been looking for resistance, trying to hit the bounces. And then you get chasing lows, lower lows, lower lows, and then you get stopped out because you get a zinger, and then you got to re-enter. Like this move back here, boom. And then all over again. These are charts that traders that were calling yesterday, we're going to close green, all this. You got to beat that slope line. If you've learned nothing else the last few weeks, you got to beat the slope line. Chart like this, you also have to beat the rain line. So the key is, can you get back under the slope line using rain line for resistance? And this is the big resistance back here. You can see it. And I've said that all along, that step by step, we're looking for the next lower target. Yesterday, we were looking for the 32 next. Today, we're looking for the 22 next. Anybody that is, it's 10 o'clock. Market is trying to get up here, but sellers right now are still overwhelming. Traders that are trapped. This is a great chart. 38 resistance, 32 the aggressive zone. I love this chart. This is as good as it gets for the picture of power. Call that the picture of power. And this is a trend. Lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. And then if you get into a trade and you have a trailer, you let that work. And you don't get to be a pig, because pigs get slaughtered. So anybody that wants to take advantage of today's trade, you still have to be mindful of news coming out and try to get your work done ahead of that, get your couple of points and put in your pocket. Picture of power. 27, 26, if you got that and you shorted the 32 zone as we suggested you might try, you've got your 4 or 5 points. Don, this was let it come to you. Take your short. If you got it, you got it. If not, no worries. But maybe you learned something there. Hope that helped. And this is part of rollover. And on Monday, we will do rollover. And again, I can do that. I for years have just done it the next day. Bang, I'm ready, rocking and rolling. It's no big deal to do it. But I wanted to see the continuity. I thought this would be helpful for our traders to see the continuity in this contract, to see the targets and the successive targets. And it's about a 5-point differential. Note how hard it is normally to get that 10th point, right? The 10th point. These guys wanted 33 and it aborts just before. And now we're saying, okay, maybe we can get 22s. But it's always the hardest, that last point. And that's because of the DNA of the market that we've talked about. I don't think the low is in yet, but I certainly wouldn't take a lot of risk ahead of news. Just my 2 cents for whatever it's worth. We are waiting for this chart. Well, actually, this is the 10. My apologies for that. That was yesterday's chart that was working so well. Still is. Let's put it back to a 5 for now. And the trade doesn't work, take your stop. So if you're playing the nibble game right now, risk 2, make 2, lock something. All right, hope this helps.